guys, welcome back to another episode of the No One to Tell Us No podcast, a podcast where we truly live life like there's no one to tell us no. I'm Courtney, and with me is my husband and traditions making partner, Charlie.
Merry Christmas. Hope everyone had a good Christmas. As of the recording this is the day after Christmas, so still got it fresh in our brains. Still thinking about Christmas and what it was like growing up and what we did this year. And can you believe that we have spent 15 Christmases together?
I know, that's crazy.
It feels weird because we're 31 and that's like almost half of our life. That doesn't sound right, but it is.
Yeah.
Because we've been together 14 years total, the 15 Christmases.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's a lot.
It is a lot.
But how was your Christmas this year?
I mean, this year was great. Very relaxing, very calming.
It was a very chill Christmas.
Yeah.
Laid back.
We didn't have any family come into town, which, I mean, has its pros and cons. But for me this year, I think it really was needed because just with the pressure and stress of getting down here last year, it was, like I said, stressful and a lot. So we didn't really have a chance to settle in by the time Christmas came around last year. But this year we were able to decorate a little bit. We were able to go and do some fun activities around the area and just really take advantage of the holiday season. So I really liked it.
Since you work in the school system, you got like your break.
Yes.
Like no interruption, just like 2.5 weeks of just like concentrating on what you want to do and relaxation.
Yeah.
So it was definitely a much needed relaxing Christmas.
Yeah.
But speaking of Christmas, growing up, I bet you had all sorts of traditions. Growing up, I bet you had all sorts of traditions like that you like to do yourself or like you did with your family. Because Christmas really starts like when you're young and you are with your family. And
you build those traditions from what you did with your family prior and even maybe what they did with their families prior that they brought into their relationship and so on and so forth.
And I feel like we talk about this every year, like things that you did and things that I did growing up. And like, you know, we reminisce on that and like, oh, I don't think I've ever told you about this. When I was younger, we used to do this and that. And so we kind of share those with each other as we remember them as we get older. But it's also interesting too, because a lot of those traditions or activities that we like to do growing up with our families have kind of shifted and molded into things that we do right now. It all stems from it. We don't do the exact same things anymore.
No, but we put our own spin on it, especially since we don't have kids. We just have our dog and we just kind of make it our own.
And where we live right now, it's just us. Like we have friends here that we've made, but like we don't have family close by.
Right.
Our closest family is 2 states away.
Yeah. So it definitely looks different, especially now these last couple of years compared to when we were in North Carolina and closer to family. So just trying to, I guess, shift mentally with all that too has been an adjustment for us.
It is a little bit different. It can be like happy and sort of solemn at the same time.
Yeah.
Because you have new things that you can do, but you're also like missing certain things.
Yeah.
And so it's just a different feeling. But I think, you know, you get used to things. Change is always good. Doesn't have to be bad. But when you were growing up, you didn't grow up in Wilmington. Well, you kind of did halfway through your childhood. Yeah. But like you're from central North Carolina area, just north of Raleigh.
Yeah.
So that was like your young childhood years. And so like, what are some things that you remember as a kid and around Christmas time? And I'll say this too. I think for both of us, Christmas as a kid, especially back in the early 2000s and late 90s, started after Thanksgiving. There was none of this like before Thanksgiving, right after Halloween. It was like Thanksgiving and then we're doing Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah. And also it was back in my day, it was also pre Google times and pre social media times. So
Yeah.
the emphasis really was on getting together with your family and talking about what your year was like and any life updates and traveling to see those family members.
Yeah, because no one can keep up with you throughout the year,
Right.
like Facebook or
I mean, you would like
Instagram.
call each other on your landlines.
Yeah, but it's not the same as now. It's
Right.
like, oh, I saw you posted a picture or a video of what you guys were doing, so it was way different, and it
Mm-hmm.
was definitely a different feeling.
Yeah. But to, I guess, answer your question, so living on the outskirts of Raleigh, it was a very small town and kind of like BFE land where just everybody kind of knew everybody. And when I was growing up, I just remember obviously you would make your list for Santa, you would do activities and crafts in school and things like that. But something that my family would always do on Christmas Eve is we would go to our church's candlelight service and then we would go to a Chinese buffet afterwards. And I just thought that was the like pinnacle of growing up and
You
having
looked forward to
Christmas.
it.
Yeah.
Like, when Christmas came around, you were like, "I know these things are happening,
Yeah.
and I can't wait to go get Chinese
Yeah.
food."
And even with the candlelight service, because like I said, it was candlelight at the very end, they would sing Silent Night and Joy to the World were always the last two songs as you would like light your candles and stand there and sing those songs. And as a little kid who didn't get to play with fire a lot, just standing there in like a church with all this fire, it was kind of
You
like,
felt important. You
oh,
felt important.
yeah, I felt like, oh my gosh, I'm such a big kid. I get
Yeah,
to hold this candle by
yeah.
myself and get to light the next person by myself. And so that was really cool. And also, it just brought back like kind of that reason for the season type of thing. But we
Just
also,
curious, the Chinese buffet, did that stem from the Christmas Story movie going to
yes,
the Chinese restaurant because
we're the
because
only place open.
and
Yeah.
so they ended up at a Chinese restaurant?
Yeah.
That's where it came from,
Yeah.
right?
That's originally the thought behind it.
And yet that
And
was like your dad. Your dad's like, "I want Chinese food."
yeah.
And pretty
And
much, like you said, the only place open on Christmas Eve night,
yep.
especially 25 years ago.
Yeah.
Because, like, late 90s, early 2000s, when we were like in elementary school, Christmas Eve came, like everything shut down.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was shut down on Christmas. There was no like last minute shopping,
No.
and not like no restaurants open. You had to go to the store and plan ahead.
Yeah. You might be getting last minute gifts at the gas station.
Yeah.
That might be the only thing open. So yeah, we would go to a Chinese buffet restaurant and living in a small town, we didn't really go out and do much.
Was it
Like
always
going,
Chinese buffet?
it was. It was
Never like a
always
like China takeout or something like
as we
that.
got older, it
Yeah.
kind of turned into
Changed.
that. Yeah, just kind of whatever was open.
Mhm.
But it usually was a buffet restaurant, and going out to eat was a really like
Like a
special
treat.
thing. Yeah. And so for me, that was like, okay, Christmas is officially here. It's starting. Even though leading up, I would do other things like we would make those paper chains and like tear
Mhm.
off a day. We'd do like the advent calendars where there'd be like chocolate in each of the little doors.
Okay, you did that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We also, uh, oh, we also would make teacher gifts. So
Okay.
I know with your dad being an orchestra teacher, he gets tons of student gifts.
He would always last day, he would always bring home just a mountain
Yeah.
of gifts.
Gift cards and things, but we would make teacher gifts. And one in particular that I very distinctly remember was we would use washcloths and soap and make these candles out of the washcloths and the soap and put a little gold tinsel pipe cleaner up at the top to make it look like a wick.
Mm-hmm.
And so it just kind of was a cute little crafty thing that my mom would get us involved, and it was easy for us to gift those.
Did you go
So,
like shopping and stuff with your parents? And did they like let you pick out things for other people?
mm,
Not, I mean,
not really that I could remember too much. I remember once we moved to Wilmington, my mom and I, we would go out and pick out stuff for like my dad or my brother. I do remember we used to have those Christmas shops at school,
yeah.
and my mom would like give me X amount of dollars and I would go and buy something for each of my family members and stuff.
We were
And
talking about this the other
yeah,
week where those little shops or book fairs, $20 would get you a long
it
ways. And it
would.
was actually decent stuff.
Yeah.
And nowadays you were saying that it's all a
Oh,
bunch
it's
of
all like
garbage.
Five Below and just very cheap stuff.
Yeah. Like I remember walking down there with like a necklace and like a figurine
Mm-hmm.
and like a book or something. And now it
Yeah.
doesn't sound like they do that
No.
anymore.
Yeah. I mean, they probably still have that kind of stuff, but
Welcome to the future.
yeah, it's just going to cost you more money in
Yeah.
that account.
Did you guys ever like make any like special food or like snacks or desserts around the holidays?
Mm,
Like it was like, oh, today we're making Christmas cookies or something like that.
the only, I guess, special thing that was very holiday specific was obviously Santa's cookies.
Mm-hmm.
So those would be the Pillsbury sugar cookies.
That had like a Christmas tree or
Yeah,
something
that
in
had
it.
the little like figures on it, like a reindeer, Santa face and stuff.
I feel like I've had one recently and they're just not good.
No,
But as a little kid, you're like, these
these
are
are
the
great.
best.
No, but I'll be honest, I would eat more of them raw than I would
Yeah.
actually cooked.
With me and my raw egg allergy, I had to stay
Oh,
away
missing
from that.
out. So, yeah, that was kind of my childhood. It wasn't, I feel like it wasn't as elaborate as some other kids' childhood. I mean, we would go and like look at Christmas lights in Raleigh and stuff like that,
Yeah.
but I felt like we weren't doing something like every single day. Like it
Yeah.
was really a time to just be at home, be with family, maybe go see some close family friends that couldn't get out and do stuff and maybe were elderly
Yeah.
and go help them. But all in all, it was more of just being at home with your
Yeah.
family.
Did you guys do like Christmas tree?
Yeah, we're team fake Christmas tree over here.
Oh, it was fake Christmas tree? You never
Yeah.
had a real one?
We had a real one year, and I think that was like when I was, oh gosh, like I can't remember if we were dating
I
or
remember a
not.
real tree. Your mom decided to get a real tree.
Okay, so
Like
then
this
that
was when you were
was
like early college.
okay. So
Like it
yeah,
was when we were together. But before that, it
before
was
that,
all
it
fake.
was all fake. Yep, it was the classic like wire ones that you would have to like stick. It had the hook,
Yeah,
and you'd
yeah.
have to stick all the branches in by color.
Well, when we moved in together and had our first Christmas, our first tree was a fiber optic tree that came from your parents.
Yep. So we upgraded from the color coded prong tree to a fiber optic tree, which was like all the rage.
And then I think ours,
The
I
fiber
think when we
optic,
got it, it lasted like a couple years or something.
yeah.
And I think whenever it stopped working, I went and bought a string of lights and
Yep.
just used that.
Yeah.
We didn't have the budget to go buy a brand new tree.
No. No. When a string of lights or two will do the trick, that's all you needed.
But when you were living like out there outside of Raleigh, like did you have like family come down or did you ever like did y'all travel for Christmas or was Christmas a time to just kind of like stay home and you kind of just
We
were
had a
there with
couple of
your
Christmases where like my extended family would come down, I don't know, maybe less than three times, I remember. There were also a couple of times where we went up to Pennsylvania to visit my extended family during the holiday season. That's actually where I got my first Britney Spears album. I remember that. I remember that Christmas I got a Britney Spears CD and a Bubbles Powerpuff Girl pillow. Yeah,
You remember that.
very specific. Wow. That was because I slept on the pillow on the way home.
Yeah.
But yeah, not a a whole lot of traveling because it was just a lot to haul 3 kids
Yeah,
up.
you're the middle child too.
Yes.
You have an older sister and a younger brother.
Hmm.
So I can imagine Christmas time with 3 children in the house.
Yeah. Now, growing up, just curious, were you a open one gift at a time family, or were you an open everything at once family?
Mine's a one at a time,
Yeah.
and you pay attention to who's opening what.
Hmm.
And and I think the thought behind it was, from my parents, especially my mom, she's like, I want to see your reaction. I want to see what you got. And if I got it for you, like I put thought and time into getting
Right.
it, so that she wanted to be a part of that
Sure.
instead of like, oh, I missed it because we were all ravaging the gifts
Hmm.
um at the same time. So that
Yeah.
was me. Were you guys the opposite?
So when we were younger, especially when my brother and I were younger, because my brother and I are only like 2 years apart, we were an open everything at once for up until I would say about the time we moved to Wilmington.
Hmm.
And then it kind of turned into, okay, we're all a little bit older now. We can have some patience and wait for everybody to kind of open what they got and be appreciative and have that consideration for each
Okay.
other. Eventually it turned into one at a time.
Yeah, yeah.
But when we were little kids, it was just like, no, just go for it.
I always saw that in TV shows and movies and stuff like that, and I'm like, yeah, we don't do that. That
Can't
looks
relate.
that's weird to me. Like, why don't
Yeah.
y'all take your time?
Yeah.
And
I think now that I'm older, I appreciate the one at a time. I know some people are like, they get anxiety from the
well,
one at a
you're a gift
time.
giver. Like, that
I
is your
love
thing.
gift
You'd
giving.
rather give the present than receive.
Yeah, because when it's my time to open the gift, it's just so awkward because I'm like, oh, like I can't mess up the wrapping or I can't mess up the bow or whatever.
You really like putting the thought into the
I
gift, and
do.
you like to see somebody's reaction, which
Yeah.
is very meaningful.
Yeah. I enjoy gift giving.
But
When,
you moved to Wilmington in about the middle school
yeah,
years of
going
your
into 6th grade.
yeah. So then obviously as you get older, like some of your traditions change
Hmm.
with your family. But I would imagine they probably stayed pretty consistent. You just flip flopped the town
The
that you were
place.
in, and you're
Yeah.
like, okay, your parents are still taking you to a Christmas Eve service.
Still getting
Now you
Chinese food.
now you maybe have a couple more options of Chinese
Yeah.
food. But I probably stayed the same. Would I be?
Yeah, pretty similar. Yeah, not too much other than with my dad, he worked up in Raleigh still while we lived in Wilmington, so he would like travel
Yeah.
and stuff for that. But
But then you were
yeah.
like in chorus in middle school and high school, so I'm sure they had all the like holiday concerts and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So
Yeah.
you would be a part of, and your parents and family would come.
Yeah, yeah. We would do the holiday concerts and then being a part of church and going pretty regularly to church. We would be a part of the children's choir and singing in cantatas and doing our own version of like a child led Christmas story play,
Yeah.
things like that. Lots of things revolving around the church too. So, but I feel like I'm like talking a lot about me. What about you? What were some of your like pinnacle childhood traditions?
Well, like kind of how you were mentioning, like whenever I was younger, as far back as I could remember, probably in that like early elementary school age, it always seemed like a long stretch of time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, Christmas time is here. And like I mentioned before, it's like, okay, we had Thanksgiving, Black Friday's happening. We never partook in Black Friday,
Yeah.
but it was like, okay, that's the start of Christmas
Yeah.
right here and the Christmas time. But then it seemed like as a kid, from that time to Christmas Day, it was like, this is so far because of the excitement. I would, make a list of things that like I would like to have.
Did you ever get like the Toys R Us catalog and like circle what you wanted and stuff?
Not that I can recall.
No?
I think there were things that I just saw throughout the year and I kind of like made a mental note or something. Or,
Maybe you saw a commercial.
yeah, I know my mom at one point, I don't remember how young I was, ended up getting this magnetized Christmas list had like paper on it, just like a sticky notepad.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I thought of something, I could
Oh,
write
you
it
write it
down.
on the
And
list.
so if I saw it in like April, I could write it on the list. And then
Ah.
when that year was done, you tear it off and you have a fresh page.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't think I did like the magazine thing. Maybe like walking around stores and I would
Mm-hmm.
see something, but definitely like commercials. It was hard for me to see commercials because my parents didn't have cable, so I wasn't getting like the
Peasant.
I wasn't getting like the Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network commercials that display all
Oh
the toys
gosh,
and whatnot.
those commercials were wild. Well,
Yeah. So
maybe you had a friend or somebody in school that
yeah.
was like, "Oh, I got this cool blah blah blah," and
Oh,
then you're
definitely.
like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I want that too."
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Stuff like that. But Christmas was always like really fun for me because I feel like there were a lot of the same traditions that we would do every year. And I would look forward to them and like, oh, Christmas time is here. I know we're doing X, Y, and Z.
mhm,
So it was that like excitement of looking forward to those certain activities. I remember in Wilmington, and this might have been before you moved there, the city of Wilmington had a tree lighting, and they
mhm,
still do that now. It's just not at the location that it was.
mhm.
I can't remember the name of this tree or the type of tree that it was, but it was this ginormous tree. It wasn't shaped like a Christmas tree at all. But around Christmas time, they would put those warm colored big bulbs
Mhm.
around it and all over it, hundreds of them. And there was one night, but this was the times before multiple tree lightings throughout the season. You know what I'm talking about? We're going to have
Mhm.
3 tree lightings. Like now, you get one, and if you miss it, sorry.
Sucks to suck.
Yeah. So I remember that specifically where you would we would go and it would be dark but that you could see the tree, and they would have like some little entertainment happening under the tree, and this was all fenced off, and you would kind of all be in line because the line was then to see Santa. And this is like
Oh.
December 1st, so it's
Mhm.
like the beginning. You're going to tell Santa your
The
list and
kickoff.
whatnot. Yeah, so everybody's standing around this fence in a line. They're having the entertainment. They'll have some like, school groups or community groups come sing some carols. They'll like say certain spiels of like thanking people. Maybe there'll be some advertisements, maybe some like donation things happening. And then when it got time, they would bring out this like button, and there would be some people up there. I don't, some importance of the city, like a mayor or something like that.
Yeah.
And then like an invited family, maybe. But then they would count down, 10, 9,
Yeah.
8, 3, 2, 1. And then they would press the button and the whole tree would light up. And it was so
Oh,
bright.
I bet that was like really magical to see
And
as a
because
kid.
oh yeah, yeah. And especially because the tree wasn't shaped like a normal Christmas tree, like how big and wide this tree was, you're standing under the branches of the tree. So you're like underneath of it whenever it
Oh.
like lights up. It's so hard to describe.
It
Like
sounds
I
like it was very
remember it.
immersive too.
Yes. And then to cap it all off, because you're all kind of in line at this Santa's hut or workshop or whatever, doors close. Well, where's Santa?
Mm.
Then you hear a fire engine go off and like the
Oh,
horns happening
wow.
and everything. And here comes the fire truck with the lights all going and the horns are blaring. Everybody turns and looks, and Santa's standing on top of the fire truck. And then
Oh,
they come up and he gets off and he goes into the little house that they have set up there, and he starts meeting with people, and you tell them what you want for Christmas and you get
yeah.
a picture. But inside they had it really decorated like a toy shop, old like woodworking, tools and toys. Like it made it look like that.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, I always remember you get a candy cane and you'd be
Head
off.
off. You sodded off.
But yeah, that was a big thing. I think after a while they had to close that area because it was city owned property and there was some like factory that had to take over. I'm not sure what happened to the tree.
Sounds like a Hallmark movie.
I hope the tree's still there. But they obviously in years ended up transitioning the tree, not transitioning that tree, but transitioning to a tree lighting in downtown
Hmm.
where it became a whole different thing.
Yeah.
At that time I was older, teenage, maybe into college when they did that, and wasn't really going out and
It wasn't
partaking.
cool.
Yeah, I wasn't cool enough for that. That's one big tradition. The other is like my dad's a musician, so my dad would have lots of concerts. So
Yeah.
we would always go to these concerts that he was playing in. So I remember a lot of that. I would always have like a day I would go with my dad, and I feel like a day I would go with my mom to go shopping. If I went with my mom, we were picking out stuff for my dad. If I went with my dad, we're picking out stuff for my mom,
Yeah.
and then also extended family
Yeah.
too, grandparents and cousins and things like that.
Yeah.
But we would also we made cookies. Like my mom would pick a day or something where we made gingerbread cookies, and she
Mm-hmm.
has this really good gingerbread recipe.
Yeah.
You've had them, and we've made
Well,
them
we've
too
made them.
before. Yeah. And but we had like different cookie cutters, like different shapes of Christmas related things like wreaths and snowmans and things like that. And so we cut those out, bake them, and then let them cool. And we decorate them with like icing and different sprinkles. We'd have like a bunch of Tupperware boxes full
Yeah.
of these cookies.
Just curious, did you guys ever make those cinnamon dough ornaments at all?
No, I don't know what that is.
Oh, it's basically like you take flour and like a crap ton of cinnamon and
Mm-hmm.
like water
Yeah.
and I don't know, maybe one other ingredient. You just mix it all together and can stamp your like thumb into it or
Oh,
something.
okay. Yeah.
But the point of it, especially being a cinnamon ornament, was that it made your tree smell good
Okay.
if it was a fake tree.
5D effect.
Yeah.
No,
So
we never did anything like that.
we would also gift them to like people like in the church and stuff because we'd like cut them into different, like you said, shapes like stockings and trees and stuff.
Yeah.
But you were saying about making cookies and
Oh no, that was it about the cookies. Like we would make those and just have Tupperware containers full of cookies and nice little snack. And that's where I started liking gingerbread at a young age. But it's only a December flavor and cookie. Can't have that too much. Speaking of food, this might sound interesting, but my mom around that time would order some desserts. There would be like these little like apricot pies with like some icing on it that were so good. I wish I could have those. I wish you could have tried them. I remember what they look like. I remember what they taste like. I think after a while, many years of having them, they just discontinued them and my mom couldn't get them anymore. It was very disappointing
that's
because that
sad.
was like the best.
Yeah.
Like she would get like maybe 2 dozen of them and it was like, that's it. Like
That's it for the year.
that's also where Biscoff cookies came into play. I know this sounds strange. You can buy Biscoff cookies at the store now, but I don't think that was a thing you could buy at the store back when I was growing up.
Yeah.
But like I thought Biscoff cookies were a Christmas thing because my mom would get those and she would get the regular kind, like not coated, and then she would get the chocolate coated kind. And so to me, Biscoff is Christmas related.
Yeah.
It was like that growing up. And whenever I finally saw them like out and about as I got older, I was like, it's not Christmas, was it? And so it's funny, like when I take a bite of a Biscoff cookie now, it's like reverts my mind to Christmas.
Takes you back.
Yeah. There might have been a couple other little snack things that she would order around that time. I don't remember. Those are the two that I remember more than anything for some reason.
Now, what did Christmas Eve and Christmas Day look like for you guys? Because I know, like I mentioned, for us, the big thing was the Christmas Eve service and Chinese food. And then Christmas Day was everybody opens at once and it's just we stayed together as a family rather than going out and about. So like what did your Christmas Eve and Christmas Day look like as a kid?
Christmas Eve, I think would change sometimes, but preface this by saying my dad's side of the family, like extended side of the family, is all from Wilmington, North Carolina, and they all still live in the eastern North Carolina area.
Right.
So when you talk about like getting a family together around Christmas time and then even back in Thanksgiving, you were expecting to see like everybody.
Right.
And again, to put a little more explanation onto this, my great grandmother was alive when I was younger, maybe up until I was 10 or 11. My great grandmother was married to two men. And she ended up having 4 sons, 2 from the first marriage and 2 from the second marriage. Those 4 sons ended up all having families of their own.
Yeah.
And one of those sons is my grandfather. Oldest son of the great grandmother had two daughters. The next one was my grandfather, ended up having a daughter and a son, which is my dad and my aunt. The next one ended up having a daughter, and the youngest son ended up having twin boys and a daughter. So you can imagine the amount of people and all those kids that I just mentioned, depending on the age, all had their own kids.
Right.
So like it was generations of people. And it's so weird because I remember when we started dating, I was like, oh, that's Aunt so and so. And she's like, that's not your aunt. I was like, I understand. It's just easier if everyone called this person that name.
Yeah.
Because there was a time when I was younger where we would all get together and all those people I just mentioned would be under one roof.
Yeah.
It's a lot. So there would be like 30 people in somebody's house.
And the house probably wasn't super big or anything.
No, especially where my great grandmother lived. That's where I feel like a majority of these get togethers ended up, was like, I don't even know how to describe this. It was basically an upstairs of a shop because she used to own a convenience store and a laundromat and a gas station. And then they lived upstairs of that.
Yeah.
It was just interesting.
Living the high life.
Yeah, it was just interesting thinking about that. But Christmas Eve, I feel like, especially when I was younger, didn't involve like the large family that we were just talking about. I think we might have gone over to maybe my grandparents and had like a Christmas Eve dinner or something like that. But then my mom was really adamant of getting home, you know, having the lights dimmed and like having the Christmas tree on, maybe, you know, putting on a Christmas movie, but then getting me to bed.
Yeah.
Because Santa's coming.
Santa's got it.
Yeah, Santa's coming in the middle of the night. So Christmas Eve was really supposed to be like relaxed, and I remember it being pretty relaxed. And our Christmas Eve dinner was always like, you know, like steak and stuff like that.
Yeah, like good old home cooked meals.
Yeah, like that. Yeah. So Christmas morning for me was getting up and coming out to see what had happened.
Ooh, let me ask you this. So did you ever go into your parents' room and like wake them up and be like, it's Christmas? Or did you have to wait until they woke you up?
You know what's funny? When I was younger, my parents made me sleep in a sleeping bag in their room.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, I forgot about that.
Wow. I don't think you've ever told me that.
Yeah, it's just something that just popped into my brain. But yeah, they were like, no, because we don't want you to interrupt Santa. We want to see your reaction in the morning and things like that. So I slept in a sleeping bag on the floor in their room. And as I got older, I had to be like, please, this hurts so bad because we had hardwood floors. So we ended up making a deal. It was like, if you stay in your room, we'll come get you.
Yeah.
And so that's ended up what happening there.
For us, so my house outside of Raleigh, it was 2 stories. The tree and everything was downstairs and all the bedrooms were upstairs. So our parents had to come and get us, and then we all walked down together.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh.
Heaven, like you're just sitting there from 6 in the morning.
Yeah. Like, heaven forbid if I went and interrupted them and woke them up. Like, I know there are some kids and some families out there where they were like, no, I'm a kid and I'm going to go wake up my parents. Oh, no.
Okay, well, I can appreciate it now because this Christmas we slept until 10:30.
Yeah.
It's like, I like to sleep in.
Yeah.
Don't come wake me up.
But like as a kid, you're like, you're like awake at like 5 in the morning.
Man, you're ready to go. I'm like, Santa better have come.
So, but that was how we did it. But so you guys.
So once we got up and then we went in there, I think when I was younger, my parents would have like, you know, the camcorder video camera out. And my mom would have me open up like Santa's presents first. So like Santa filled the stocking and Santa left like a couple of the big gifts.
Okay. Did you have like Santa wrapping paper or did Santa even wrap anything? Depending
on the gift, sometimes Santa couldn't wrap an oddly shaped item. Yes, Santa had his own wrapping paper.
Okay.
So you knew that was from Santa.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, that's definitely not mom and dad's wrapping paper.
Yeah.
That's the good stuff.
That's the good stuff.
So we'd do that, and then we'd start like the family stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So like we'd either have my mom or my dad open up their stocking, and then we move into like the gifts under the tree that were from us to each other and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that was Christmas morning, and then it was always cinnamon rolls
Mm-hmm.
for Christmas morning with my mom. My mom wanted to make cinnamon rolls. That was the thing for me growing up. Was like, I know cinnamon rolls are coming.
Yeah.
So we did that, and then we would always get ready after we were done with our stuff, and then we would head over to my grandparents' house, where it was my grandmother and my grandfather, and then me and my parents, and then my dad's sister and her husband and their child. We got over there, and the first thing we did, we would have like brunch,
Mm-hmm.
and so it was pancakes and breakfast casserole.
Oh yeah.
And you know the breakfast casserole.
It is very good.
That's another Southern thing.
Yeah.
We talk about like it was like croissants, dough, sausage, cheese, egg. And then I remember I started a tradition amongst everybody because there's pancakes on there. For some reason, I got syrup on the breakfast casserole, or I decided to dip the breakfast casserole in the syrup. And everybody's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "You gotta try this."
Yeah.
And so everybody
sweet and
started.
salty combo.
Yeah, exactly. It's like like the McGriddle.
Yeah.
But better. So that was brunch lunch type thing, and then we would do the gifts exchange amongst the family that was there, and then I can't remember, either we would stay there or we would go back home until it was about dinner time. And then at dinner time, again, this is when I was younger, we would go over and go to the extended family that I mentioned.
That's where everybody
where
came.
Like 30 people were there. And I just told you this recently, and you were shocked by this. We gave each other presents of all those extended family members. So you'd walk out and you'd be like, cousin so-and-so gave me a present or a card or things like that. But yeah, and there we would have a big family dinner, like a roast and corn and collard greens and who knows what. I mean, it feels like we were over there till like 9-10 o'clock at night. I mean, it was late, but then the kids, we would be playing games or playing with some Christmas stuff or running around outside. And so that was the end of Christmas Day. It was jam-packed thinking back on it. But like as a kid, I had fun.
Yeah.
Like I knew what was coming and I was looking forward to it. I was like, this is my Christmas Day.
Yeah.
As I got older, things obviously have changed.
Yeah.
And even with that whole rotation of starting with my parents and my grandparents and the extended family, that's kind of
dwindled a little bit.
Yeah. Well, as those extended family members have moved or gotten families of their own, like bigger,
Yeah. Everybody has kind of done their own things.
Yeah. They always separate out and do their own thing.
Yeah.
But we did a couple other things that I forgot to mention in the Christmas season. You mentioned advent calendars. I feel like my mom sometimes would get me ones with chocolate in it. Those are always the best. I feel like I always had them at night. I'm like right before bed eating a piece of chocolate. Okay, fine. My mom would get the Christmas crackers. Did you guys ever do that?
Yeah, we did that. That was part of our Christmas dinner usually.
We would always save some for like New Year's too, because it's like a New Year's thing as well. And so you'd have the little prizes.
I forgot about those.
Yeah, man. Those are fun. I always look forward to those. And then I played the violin growing up. My dad's a music teacher and a violinist, so I played the violin. So when I was going throughout middle school and high school, obviously we had those Christmas concerts and things like that too. So just like how you were in chorus, I also partook in all of that. And as I got older, like early college, I was actually playing some Christmas gigs sometimes to make a little extra money, which was always
had to buy me some presents.
Yeah, and make money for you. But yeah, Christmas growing up definitely evolved when I think back on it as like that whole big ordeal on Christmas Day, and changed as I got older and as family dynamics changed because people had their own families and can't bring all those people together all the time.
Yeah, you'd have to rent out like a whole restaurant or something.
Yeah, I can imagine. But no, it was good.
I feel like it makes you appreciate looking back on what Christmas used to be and really be appreciative of the time that you did get to spend time with certain family members or have the opportunity to just partake in whatever it was.
Or how Christmas just was
It
different
was
back
simpler.
then. Like, again, we mentioned earlier, without social media and
Hmm.
things like that, and
Like,
without even like without texting, like
yeah,
you called
yeah.
from a landline. Rarely did somebody have a cell phone
Hmm.
then. People had cameras with film in it, no
Hmm.
digital. So you didn't know what the pictures looked like until you got them developed.
Yeah.
People had those camcorders out. It was so different.
Well, I was going to say when we got into more so like late middle school, high school was when the cell phone craze really picked up
Yeah.
and kind of this era of almost like
When tech
showing off what you got.
when texting became a big thing, I think that's when the downhill spiral of old Christmas traditions started to go away.
Yeah. Kind of thinking back when you were in elementary school, you didn't know what your friends got until the first day back from
Yeah.
school.
Would you
Or,
and sometimes you would wear what you got or you
yeah.
bring it, like sneak it in your backpack, like, I
Hmm.
got this. And then I remember one year, like I got an iPod Touch, like this was, when that was first out and about
Hmm.
from my grandparents, and I brought that to school. I'm like, this is cool, man. I got
Whole
an
nother
iPod Touch.
level.
Yeah, that was back when you had to pay 99 cents to download your music if you didn't want to go get viruses from illegal sources of downloading music, which is wild to think, and that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
But anyway, just yeah, that's a good point of not knowing unless you hung out with those friends that were right
Right.
down the road. But even then, like I feel like around that holiday break, you didn't really hang out
You
because everybody
didn't.
was doing their thing with their family.
Right. Again, it was very family oriented, which for luckily for us, we had pretty good families and stuff, but I know for a lot of people probably wasn't the case and Christmas was probably not the most
Yeah,
joyful time, but I am grateful that for us it was a happy, joyous occasion.
that most definitely. Now I asked you earlier about fake tree or real tree.
Hmm.
You're a fake tree.
Yes.
My side was real tree,
Yes.
especially my mom. My mom was all about the real tree.
Hmm.
And there was a little lot that would pop up every year, and they'd go, or we'd all go and get a Christmas tree, pick out the best one, and she would get it as tall as we could get it,
Hmm.
and yeah, bring it home. We never had a truck or anything, so that
Yeah.
was always fun, like shoving it in an SUV or whatever. And I remember that as a kid.
Yeah.
But yeah, my mom was always big into. She decorated the tree.
You
Like,
didn't
so
help?
I remember when I was younger, I would help a little bit, but there were certain ornaments that she was like, "No,
No.
don't touch it," because she had some like stuff from like Europe and
Hmm.
like Germany and things like that were really nice.
Yeah.
And she would still put out, and she would always wrap the trunk with white lights, and this
Hmm.
was all warm colored lights, white lights, and then on the more outer parts of the branches was the colored lights.
Yeah.
And then when I was younger, we had a star, and then that transitioned to a really nice angel that
Hmm.
they have at the top of the tree now.
Yeah.
And then all the ornaments are different. There's maybe a couple like baubles on there, but you know how some people have like they just buy a package of gold baubles and like it's none of that. It was all like
Very unique,
yeah.
individualized, one of a kind type of.
Yeah, you've seen it. Like
Yeah. I will say when we first started dating, that was something very eye opening that I was very impressed by
mhm.
whenever I first came over to your place and saw her tree all decorated and stuff because she takes such care and
Mhm.
she's very meticulous of where ornaments should go so that they're not resting on a lower branch
Yeah.
or they're not too far low to the ground to where they'll get knocked off or something like.
A funny memory about the ornaments though, because it's a real tree and like one branch might be a little farther out than the other. Our front door was always really close to the tree.
Hmm.
So obviously the door would never hit the tree, but my dad, being a music teacher, had a violin case.
Oh,
So
yeah.
every time he would walk in, I feel like his violin case would brush up against this one branch. The ornament's always swinging, and my mom would be like, "Watch out!"
Yeah.
all the time. And then whenever we later in life got Bandit's walking under the tree, and his tails
Little tails wagging.
is smacking the ornaments and whatnot.
Yeah.
He's over here on the couch as we're talking, like, "What are you guys talking about me for?"
Yeah. So I think she kind of ended up moving over the years some of those more fragile ornaments more higher and
Yeah.
putting some of the less damageable ones at the bottom.
But we were also big into decorating the outside of our house too.
Yeah.
I feel like it was me. Like, I wanted to do it as a kid.
Hmm.
And growing up, like, my parents didn't have a disposable income or anything. So
Right.
it was like, we can get a couple outside strings, and then the next year we can get one or two. So it, like, as I
Yeah,
got
it
older,
built.
it built, and I would always help my dad do it. My mom's like, if y'all want to do that, y'all do it.
She's got the tree
Yeah.
and
So
the inside.
me and my dad would do it, and I learned how to do it myself. It all strung from one outlet in the garage
Oh,
with an
geez.
extension cord, and then, you had to be done just right. And then as I got older, I was like, I'm gonna do it myself. And then I would get the ladder out, put the icicle lights up, and so
Yeah.
I did all that. And so it was fun to watch it grow, because I remember it just used to be like a couple strands, and then now it's a lot more, and I don't even know what they do with it now.
Yeah. Yeah, your dad kind of took it over when you moved out and everything.
I think sometimes he tells me, he was like, because the trees have gotten bigger.
Right.
And he was like, yeah, I just like throw it up there and see what happens.
Yeah.
And when you go over there and you're like, yep, the ball is still up there. It's like a ball,
yeah.
a ball of lights together.
Yeah.
But like that was the majority of my traditions and things that I can remember. I'm sure there's little bits and pieces here and there.
Mm-hmm. Now, one last thing, I guess, before we transition to how Christmas looked when we were dating and engaged, you mentioned meeting Santa and everything. Now, for me, I did not like meeting Santa.
It was always strange.
It was just so awkward.
But when you got into it, it was fine.
I did not like it one bit. But I know there are some kids that absolutely love Santa and meeting him and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, when I was younger, we did it every year. You go to the mall, get the picture thing done. But I do have one story about meeting Santa when I was younger, maybe around that like 7, 8-year-old, 9-year-old time frame. If you're from Wilmington, you know what the Cotton Exchange is. It was a little shopping area in downtown Wilmington called the Cotton Exchange. It was an old historic site that's now has shops and restaurants. And me and my dad were going through there, and I was like, oh, let me meet Santa. And so I was talking to him, and when I spoke to him, he told me what I wanted for Christmas.
Oh, wow.
And it was right on the money. And I was like, how do you know that? Huh. And I was with my dad the whole time.
Yeah.
And like, how do you know this? And I walked away from that with my dad, and I was like, that's the real Santa. Mm-hmm. Like, he knew what I wanted.
Yeah.
That's just a fun little story.
Yeah. And I do remember that Santa, I never went and met him, but I do remember seeing him when we would go shopping. Like,
you knew it was the real Santa because his belt buckle was gold and said Santa. Oh. Yeah. I remember that for 2 minutes.
I just thought he was the real one because his beard was real.
No, he was real because he knew what you wanted without knowing. You did meet him one time. You probably don't remember this, but your chorus in high school went around the Cotton Exchange and like sung little stuff, and you and like 3 other girls all sat on his lap, and there's a picture of you guys.
Yeah, I remember that. We did meet him one time.
Yeah.
But yeah. So moving more into when we did start dating, we started dating our senior year of high school, and
back in 2011.
2011.
So we had our first Christmas together without even being together for a whole year.
Yeah, it was only a few months, a couple months in, really. Yeah. But so started dating in high school. Obviously, when you're dating and even when you're engaged, Christmas looks a lot different for you as a couple and as a person. So what did you think about, or how did you feel when we had to start like balancing our families and stuff?
No, I think it was fine for me. I remember we started like intermingling our traditions, not with
Mm-hmm.
family and family, but like me and you. Like I would go with you and your family to do some things,
Mm-hmm.
and then you would go with my family to do some things.
Yeah.
And we would do our best to balance it out. Like, for example, since my family didn't do big stuff on Christmas Eve, I went with your family a lot to
Yeah.
Christmas Eve service and then Chinese
Mm-hmm.
afterwards.
And I think also,
Oh, then I would force you into helping me with the outside light
I
decorations.
know,
I was like, come help me. It's so fun.
I don't know if fun is the first thing that comes to my
It
mind.
was fun for me. I was trying to show off of it, like, look what I can do. I could
Yeah.
do this.
Trying to impress the girl.
Yeah, exactly.
But I do remember we would almost alternate our holidays. Like we would spend maybe more of Thanksgiving with my family, and then we'd spend more of Christmas with your family. And then the next year, it kind of would flip flop. We'd spend more of Thanksgiving with yours, and then more of Christmas with
Yeah.
mine. And
And that developed differently as we started dating longer and longer.
yeah,
Where it got to the point of like, all right, we're engaged or married now, like we're just spending all Christmas with Charlie's family. And then next Christmas we're spending all Christmas with Courtney's family.
I feel like the tradition or the flip flopping shifted when we lived in Charlotte, North Carolina, and
Yeah.
we had to drive back to Wilmington and almost stay with one side of the family
Hmm.
or the other
Yeah.
and kind of dedicate our time to whatever side we stayed with.
Yeah.
So I think that's where the shift happened.
Hmm.
But when we were living in Wilmington and going to school in Wilmington, I think it was more of that like, okay, part of the day we go to Courtney's house and do gifts there. We go to
Yeah,
your
we did a good
grandmother's
balance.
house.
We had a really good balance because you and your family did your kind of thing in the morning, and then that was
Mm-hmm.
kind of really it.
Yeah.
Which then allowed you to come with me to my family's because like we had that dinner thing that we would
Mm-hmm.
do. And then as we started to date, like we invited your family to
Yeah.
come
They
over.
came a
Hey,
few
you guys aren't
times.
doing anything, come over. Like
Yeah.
everyone's welcome. My grandma
Mm-hmm.
was always big into that. Everyone's welcome
Oh,
over.
yeah.
Remember, she would tell you that all the time because
Oh,
you would
yeah.
ask, like, "Is it okay if my parents come over too?" You're like, "Of course, like everyone's welcome. We'll have plenty of food. No need to worry."
Yes.
Do you remember the first like Christmas gift you gave me? I remember because I was just thinking about it. I remember the big one that I gave you. I was so excited for it.
Oh, geez. I honestly don't remember.
Oh, really?
I feel so bad. I don't remember.
Do you know what it was for me?
I don't remember that
Oh,
either.
it
Losing points here.
it was a necklace.
Oh,
It
was
was
it
the little
the.
key with the little hearts on it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I still have that necklace.
Oh, well, yeah, I hope so. Yeah, funny story about that. Well, a while after having that, I remember you called me and you were crying. And you were like, Charlie, I am so upset. I broke the necklace. And I
Oh,
was like, what
yeah.
happened? And you were like, I was brushing my hair and it
Mm-hmm.
caught on the chain
Yeah.
and the chain broke.
Yeah.
And I was trying to like reassure you it's fine. And you were still upset. And you
I
were
was
like,
crying.
no, because every time a boyfriend has given me a piece of jewelry and it's broken, we've broken up. And I was like,
Yep.
it's okay, it's okay. And I think later that day, I came and picked you up. We probably got some lunch, and I took you to a jewelry store and got you an even better chain for that
Yeah.
necklace. And
Yep.
that's what you have
Yep. And that's what
nowadays.
I have currently. Probably need to clean it, but
It's
yeah.
all fine. See,
Yeah.
nothing
Still
happened.
together
I
15
just
years
remember
later.
that gift and that story.
Yeah.
Speaking of presents and exchanges between each other, I know like the season's about giving and you love giving and I love like surprising you with stuff. What has been like your favorite gift we've exchanged with each other? So
I would say the shopping spree that
oh, that was fun.
that you gifted me. It was technically from Bandit,
Yeah.
but it was a shopping spree. You wrote a card and in
Bandit
it,
wrote it.
yeah, Bandit wrote it. And it was basically like a little, I know you've been wanting some new clothes, so let's go out on a shopping spree. And later that week, when all the stores were kind of having their sales and stuff, we just went out and I felt like a princess, just being like, I want this and I want this.
Hey, the sales worked out well, and like we had the limit, and like this amount, and
Yeah,
they walked out with a lot of stuff
I did.
actually because everything was on sale.
I got like, a couple of nice coats. I got
Mhm.
some basic layering items. I got some leggings. I got some shoes.
Yeah.
I got a lot of stuff.
And also this was back when like I feel like things were a little bit more reasonably priced,
True.
not a $30, $40 t-shirt.
Right. What about you? What has been your favorite gift from me to you or most remembered? Yeah, you're going to put me on the spot.
You know, this is a hard one because you've gotten me a lot of really good gifts over the past 15 years, and I feel like I'm forgetting a lot of the stuff. But one of the most memorable ones, this might not be my favorite, but it's a memorable one. This is when I was in college and I complained about the beds, and you got me a mattress topper that was like 5 inches thick of like foam and like a cooling element
Mm-hmm.
to it. And it was so comfy. And obviously, the beds in dorm rooms are not, it's just like springs, plastic and springs. And so that was so useful.
Yeah.
It was such an ironic, funny gift. Boy, that was the hardest thing to like pack up and bring back and forth from school,
Mm-hmm.
though. Along with that, you also made me a blanket.
Yeah.
That was with the school colors, which were white and blue. It was
Yeah.
like a homemade blanket, extra long for the beds in the dorm room. So, yeah, you made my college living a little more comfy. One of my most exciting ones growing up that I ever like gifted you, I was super excited about this one. Like I got it, I had all the plans for it, and I was so giddy about it. Was the charm bracelet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I do remember that one.
I think that was super unexpected for you, but that
Yeah.
was one that I was so excited about giving you.
Yeah, that one.
I went and it took me forever. I'm very meticulous when it comes to things like that. So I think I was in that shop for like over an hour, like which charms are the best?
Mm-hmm.
Because I like started out with a few on the bracelet and I was like, well, which ones do I do?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so
Yeah. Unfortunately, the charm bracelet fad kind of fell out.
it did, yeah. I mean, you see some people wear them, and the Pandora lines at like Disney are always long at the Pandora stores, like,
Mm-hmm.
but I never see people wearing a charm
No.
bracelet. I don't understand
Yeah.
what goes on there, but that was a gift that I was super excited about giving
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. I still have it, still love it. I
I
just
hope so.
I need to add some more charms to
Yeah.
it.
We got you. I remember we over the holidays because it's perfect. You give a charm for all these different occasions and
Yeah.
whatnot. So
And then SNL made a little skit about it. I was like, oh, that's not fun anymore.
oh
um, so as we were talking about over the years, Christmas has looked different for us as a couple. And so we've talked about the flip flopping, we've talked about gifts for each other, but I think there was a point in our relationship when we wanted more out of our Christmas.
and not like I want more stuff. Not
No.
like that. I think it just ended up being a case of we had been together for so many years. We had gotten married and we were in a situation that if we needed something or wanted something throughout the year, we were just going to get it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to a point where we were like, you know what? Why don't we just do experiences?
Mm-hmm.
Like instead of physical presence, physical gifts, we come together and be like, what do we want to do
Right.
together? Because when you get to that point of being able to just, oh, I'm going to get it if I need it or want it, when it
Mm-hmm.
comes Christmas time, it's like, well, I've got everything that I want. You've
Mm-hmm.
got everything that you want. Like, what do we want to do together?
Right.
And so that's where I think where you're getting at.
Yeah. I think we started to value quality time with each other
Mm-hmm.
over physical, materialistic items. And For me, honestly, I know we talked a lot about traditions, but part of the repetitiveness when it came to events around Christmas
Hmm.
or seeing certain family members on Christmas or going to certain houses, not that we didn't enjoy going and being with those people, but it started to get kind of repetitive. It started to
W-
get kind of mundane.
We are a couple that desires new adventure
Mhm.
and new things. I would say, especially with the type of work that you do, you only have certain periods of the year that you have like extended time off.
Right.
And so we got to a point where we're like, well, let's take advantage of that time off.
Mhm.
You have the summer off, but then the other big break is Christmas. And
And
then
then
spring
spring.
break is a little bit smaller, but
Yeah.
still. And so we ended up, I think our first one was a cruise
Mhm.
where we decided, you know what, we're not doing gifts this year. We might have done a couple little
I
things.
think we did a couple of small stocking stuffer size gifts, but it was all cruise related or
Okay, yeah.
themed to what we maybe needed on our
Yeah.
cruise.
And obviously the big thing was like purchasing the cruise.
Yeah.
And it was fun. It was a Disney cruise
Mhm.
and it was in 2022. We're not going to go into detail about this, but 50% capacity on the
Yeah.
ship. It was very, very nice, but I think that kickstarted like the idea of like kind of like this a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I think we started doing that more and more. I remember one year we went to Disneyland.
Yeah.
We were in Disneyland on Christmas. Like we flew out there on Christmas Eve.
Mhm.
We came back on New Year's Eve because the flights were the cheapest,
Yep.
and it wasn't that busy at the airports because everybody was with their families on holiday.
Mhm.
And so we flew in uncrowded times, and we were at the Disneyland resort and experiencing Christmas there.
Mhm.
And it was different. That was our present to each other. That was our gift to each other.
Right. And so if we did any materialistic items, it was more so, like I mentioned, things necessary for whatever travel that we did,
Yeah.
whether it was maybe slightly updated suitcases or clothing or whatever.
Yeah. No, it's been a fun trend that I like doing now. And I think that's becoming our like gift giving tradition. Like now that we're here, because of the situation that we're in, where we don't have family around that can help take care of our dog, it's a little bit more difficult to travel,
Hmm.
especially as he gets older and he has a heart condition that we had to deal with over the past year. Our gift to each other has been like annual passes to Disney.
Right.
And so, like, here's a year long experience that you can just go in and out of the park whenever you want.
Hmm.
And so that's been something that we've done for the past 2 years.
Yeah. When we
And
first moved here, that was kind of our discussion was, okay, since we're not going to take like a big trip or a trip that requires us to travel away overnight somewhere and leave our dog, who, like Charlie said, was going through some pretty heavy duty medical stuff at the time, we kind of allocated our gift finances to the annual passes. Even though we were Florida residents, we chose the Incredipass because we were like, treat yourself.
yeah,
And
no blockout dates,
yeah,
nothing. We go anytime we want.
yeah.
And so we were like, that's our vacation. Like,
Hmm.
instead of going on a physical vacation, we'll go on a in town vacation whenever we want.
Yeah. So,
So as we move into the future, I'm interested to see what those experiential gifts turn into and what adventures we go on. We did this year though, do like little stocking stuffers. We ended up getting each other like little snacks from around the world,
I
like
thought,
World Market.
yeah, I thought that was the funniest thing when we had a conversation a few weeks ago. We kind of were reminiscing about the nostalgia behind Christmas and memories and what made Christmas important to us. And not that presents are the end all be all, but I think there is something to say about going out of your way to pick out things that that person wouldn't typically get for themselves. So we decided to do just little stocking things this year, and we actually both ended up going and getting treats from around the world
From
and
World Market.
from World Market and gifting those to each other without knowing that the other person did that.
Yeah, it's funny.
So
We were on each other's wavelengths.
yep, we knew exactly what the other person was trying to do.
But it is interesting. Before we moved down here, we owned a house in North Carolina. And we did that whole thing. We got a tree. We
Yep.
had our decorations. We even decorated the outside of the house. And I was really like intricate about it. Remember,
Oh, you are
like,
very meticulous.
yeah, I like had the measurements. Oh, I need this length of a string of lights.
We need this many hooks.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna be precise about this. So that was fun doing that in our own house. Right now we're in an apartment, so it's a little more difficult to do that. We still have a lot of the decorations. Maybe one day, depending on the where we're at, we can haul those out and do it again.
I just remember we used to have a peak in our roof line.
Oh my God. I was like all gung ho. I was like, I'm going to do it. I was doing some dangerous stuff to get those lights up there.
Yeah, because our house sat on an incline, and with the peak, the math and the physics behind it all of doing it safely was not in the cards.
Basically, I was standing on the very top of the ladder. Like the very top where you're not supposed to. And I had Courtney holding my feet. And I had an extension pole.
Yeah.
To get the lights up there.
Yep.
I did it. I did it like 2 years.
You did.
And I think after one time I was like, that's the last time I'm doing that.
Yeah.
But I was all for it. I was like, I'm going to make this look good. And it did look good.
Yeah, it sure did. And we had a couple of little blow up Olafs. We were gonna, if we had stayed in Wilmington, we were gonna have an army of Olafs.
There's a whole bunch of Olafs all over the yard. We had like 4.
Yeah.
At the time.
Yep.
We gave one away, so we still have 3 in storage. So what are some traditions that you enjoy that me and you do together now? Like this Christmas, maybe last year, now that we're all grown up and we're married.
We're grown up.
I don't feel like it. But, we have our own place and we can do our own thing. What are some of those traditions that you enjoy doing with me and you? And it's funny because I bet you're going to say some that came from your childhood or came from my childhood.
That's kind of exactly where I was going to go with that. I still enjoy going and getting some kind of Asian food. It doesn't have to always be Chinese, and it's definitely not at a buffet anymore.
Yeah.
But
after the pandemic, we're going to kind of stay away from the buffets.
But getting some kind of Asian food on Christmas Eve. We have been to a few candlelight church services.
Before you move away from that, every year you're like, are you okay with the Chinese? I'm like, you've gotten me on board with this. I enjoy it. Like,
you're invested.
Yeah. I partake in the Asian food, whether it be Chinese, Japanese. We've never done like Indian for Christmas Eve.
No, I don't know if I would. I know it's Asian because it's in Asia, but
you want rice and noodles.
Like rice, noodles, General Tso's, hibachi, like something along those lines.
Yeah. Do you prefer being at the restaurant or do you like bringing it home?
Honestly, I prefer to bring it home.
And like watch a movie while we're eating.
Yep.
Yeah. I can feel that. I just feel like Christmas Eve is a time to be at home and kind of just like stay in and cozy up. And turn on the fake fireplace. It's Florida. We don't have a real fireplace. We have a fake fireplace.
It's all for show. But so doing that, and honestly watching this show or special, whatever you want to call it, that you got me into, that your family watches. It's called Blackadder's Christmas Carol.
And nobody is going to know what that is except for my mom.
Paula, if you're listening.
But I implore everyone to add this to your new Christmas watch list every year. And I feel like Christmas Eve is the best day to watch it.
It really is.
Because It's called Blackadder's Christmas Carol, like you just said. And the best way to describe this is take the original Christmas Carol story and reverse it.
Yeah.
Where the main character starts out good and turns bad.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a British comedy. So this debuted on BBC network. And just that type of comedy. And it's an older classic, but it is so funny. And just the jokes, you got to be open-minded about it too, and you got to understand old British humor. But the main character, by the way, is Rowan Atkinson, and if you don't know who that is, that's Mr. Bean. Before he was Mr. Bean, they was in comedy group, and Hugh Laurie is in this from House. Oh my god, I can't remember the actor's name, but the actor that plays Hagrid from Harry Potter, he's in this. Like, some big names from British comedy and British acting are in this, and it's so funny. And ever since the first time you watched it with my family, I think it has turned into like something that, like, okay, I want to watch this. I want to have my Chinese food and watch Blackadder's.
Yeah. Yeah. For us, I think that's like quintessential
That's Christmas Eve for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we also got into watching Olaf's Frozen Adventure as a yearly tradition. This didn't start until recently.
Yeah, I think it was made shortly after the first Frozen movie, and it's got some good music in it, and just a good little 20-minute story.
Yeah.
Put you in the holiday spirit.
This tradition started more so because when I was at my very first school, I was on the specials rotation, and part of one of my lessons as a school counselor was I would talk about traditions around this time of year and kind of diversity and things like that. And I would play this for all my K-5 kids to watch. And so the first year that I played this for them, after watching it myself and vetting it, I watched it 28 times. Between the start of December.
And to say you haven't memorized, you haven't memorized.
I do, pretty much.
You sit there, you look over at her while we're watching, and she's just mouthing along with it.
Yep. 28 times in the month of December, the first time that I ever really like watched it fully through. But
to say that those two things that we watch them, I feel like every year, and they're traditions for us. And we quote those two movies throughout the year, not even Christmas time. Yep. Especially Blackadder. Just like sure. There are so many quotable things that we just say to each other throughout the year from that. What are some other movies you like to watch?
I like watching Elf. I think that's a classic.
And that's so funny because like most Christmas movies are classics before we were even born.
Right.
And this came out during our lifetime. And for a lot of people, this has turned into a classic.
Yeah. I always cry at the last Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
I mean, if you don't,
song.
You're not a real person.
Yeah. So this might be a hot take, unpopular opinion, but I don't like Home Alone.
That frustrates me about you. I love Home Alone. Just there's something about seeing those two just get hurt.
I feel like that's such so a boy thing to say.
It's just so funny. I just remember watching it with my dad, and we're just cracking up laughing at, it's just all the bad things that happened to the two burglars.
I think for me, because I didn't grow up watching it.
Yeah.
The first time I ever watched it was when I was in high school with you. And I guess I was just too old.
You're like,
for
what's
the jokes.
Christmassy about this? I was like, I understand. It just happens around Christmas time. It's just funny.
But it was more about like, why would this mom forget her child?
I know. It's a bunch of silly things.
Side note, I was that child that would get left at certain things. Like I would get left at church all the time. Shout out to my parents for leaving me at church.
They would always say, I thought the other one had you.
Yep. Or I would get left at school after volleyball practice because my grandma thought that it was my mom picking me up, or my mom thought it was my grandma. I guess for me, it like hit too close to home of being left alone. But no, to me, I guess I just couldn't get into it like some people do.
I really like It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah.
I like that movie.
Yeah.
It's classic.
It has a deeper meaning
Yeah, it
behind it,
does.
which is nice. Another one that, throwing it back to what we used to do as children, we used to watch those claymation animated movies with like Rudolph, Santa Claus is coming to town.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I mean, if you really haven't paid attention too much to it, I mean, that's like
They bully him
it's horrible. Like
until he's useful.
I will say one thing that me and you watch, I love watching, is South Park Christmas specials.
Oh yeah. There's
These,
only one. The one that I can't get behind is the Critter Christmas one.
yeah, we don't have to watch that one, but if you guys haven't seen South Park Christmas specials or episodes and you can take adult humor, it's worth it. I mean, you know me. I mean, I'll be around the house around the holidays singing the Mr. Hanky song.
Yep. It's a classic.
It's a classic. And then the dreidel song that the boys sing. It's so funny. I mean, we'll be like making dinner and we'll like ask our Google Home to like throw on some of the music, things like that. So it's so good.
Yep.
Yeah, if you're in for a laugh, South Park Christmas stuff is so funny. I wasn't able to watch that until I was like later in high school. My mom would watch it, and when I would come into the room, she'd like pause. I'm like, "What are you watching?" It's like nothing. Watch this when you're older.
Yeah.
Now I understand why. Christmas music is big. Like, I know a lot of people get like, I don't want to listen to Christmas music all the time, but like once it's Christmas time in our house, I feel like that's what we primarily listen to during the season and in the car.
Yeah.
Like right now, it changes all the time, but like, what is your like this year has been your like go-to song? You're like, when I say put on some Christmas music, this is the first thing you're doing. I know what you're gonna say.
Well, Skillet has a new song.
Yes.
O Come Emmanuel, and I think it is very well done. There's the more slow, harmonized type of intro part to it, and then it just gets like rocker, like bleh.
Yeah, no, that's a good song. I'm really into like unique Christmas music. I feel like your classic Christmas songs, I'm like, it's fine, you know, I can get down with it, but you know me, whenever we're at home or something or in the car, I put on the Christmas music that other people aren't listening to, I feel like.
Yeah.
This year I've been big into Newfound Glory has a Christmas album. It's not new or anything, but just been listening to that. And then Bowling for Soup has Christmas music. And so you got this like emo Christmas music or emo sound.
Yeah.
Christmas, and some of them are really funny actually, and they're really catchy. My other favorite one that came out a couple years ago is Jimmy Fallon's Christmas album. I think there are some really good bangers on that album.
Yeah.
Like my favorite is Hey Rudy. I love that song. During Christmas time, I'm asking Google to play Hey Rudy all the time.
Yeah.
But I know another thing that we both like to do is we'll like sit on the couch one night and like pull up YouTube on the TV and just like pull up old SNL Christmas skits. Great, like old classic ones, and even watch like the SNL Christmas special that they'll have. Love doing that. That's one of our favorite things to watch.
Yeah.
Short, little, just funny Christmas things. I mean, no one can resist watching Sweaty Balls.
That is a very good one. Yeah.
It's not Christmas without Pete Sweaty.
Yep. Oh yeah. Trying to think of other good solid SNL skits. I know I mentioned the Pandora bracelet, charm bracelet one, where it's like, oh, does she drink a crap ton of coffee? Get her a charm with a coffee mug.
They've done the song about regifting a candle, the peach candle.
Yes.
Love that one. And then you're forgetting about this one, the Lexus commercial.
Yes.
That
I literally quote that like so many times throughout the Christmas season.
This is a really big decision.
Yeah.
Your dad hasn't worked since March of last year.
Yeah, it's like, you can't blame COVID.
Yeah.
It was before COVID.
Such a good skit. What'd you like about this year? I know we talked about earlier in our conversation that we had a chilled and laid back Christmas.
Yeah.
What was your favorite thing about our Christmas this year? And you can rope in like Christmas Eve and Christmas Day together.
Um, I would say this year, one of my favorite things that we got to do for Christmas Eve, Christmas Day was we were able to go and look at all the gingerbread displays at the different Disney resorts, along with the holiday decorations, and get pictures with most of the trees and just admire the overall craftsmanship of it all and just
Yeah.
take in the season of things.
The Disney hotels do a great job of decorating their spaces for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels natural. It feels right.
It
It
feels
feels like
homey.
Christmas, and it's clean and inviting. Yeah, it just feels good when they say welcome home when you go walk into the lobby. I mean, like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
And each
But
of the trees is like themed differently to that
yes,
resort. So,
whatever the style of
yeah.
the resort is, they do a good job. But like for example, on Christmas Eve, we got some brunch at Cracker Barrel.
Oh, yeah.
Some pancakes and eggs and sausage. It was one of the only places open, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And we headed on over, and our first stop was the Grand Floridian to check out their tree. We got a little dessert there too. We made our way over to Animal Kingdom Lodge, the Jumbo House in Kandani Village, and then we went to the Wilderness Lodge, and then we went to the Contemporary Resort.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, we went and picked up our hibachi,
Yep.
came home, watched Blackadder Christmas Carol, watched Olaf's Frozen Adventure.
And called it a night.
Yeah, it was a good Christmas Eve.
Yep. And then Christmas Day, we went to the other resorts or the other deluxe resorts for their gingerbread displays and their trees.
We had dinner reservations in the boardwalk area. Went over to the Riviera and got a gingerbread cookie that we wanted to get.
The last one that
The
we
la-
needed.
and it was worth the wait because it was so good.
Best gingerbread
Yes,
that we had. Don't need to get any other gingerbread, just get the one at Riviera.
correct. It's got chocolate and icing on it. It was perfect consistency. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
It was so good. We walked around the Boardwalk Resort. We walked around the Yacht Club and the Beach Club resorts
Mm-hmm.
and saw all their displays and all their Christmas decorations. And we got a lot of pictures. But then we had dinner that night at Trattoria Al Forno, which is at the Boardwalk Resort, Italian restaurant. It was actually really good, really
Mm-hmm.
surprising.
Yeah.
I was very satisfied with that.
Yep.
We were stuffed.
Oh my
We ate
gosh.
so much food, so
Too
many
much
carbs.
bread.
So many carbs. It was worth it though. It was really good.
Carb overload.
But yeah, but that morning we opened our little stocking stuffers to each other and
Yep.
whatnot.
And Santa Paws came for Bandit.
Yeah.
So he got some treats, and Santa Paws always comes to Bandit because he's a good boy. So,
but yeah, that was
yeah.
pretty much our Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Again, like we said, very, very chill.
Low key, not super stressful. It was funny when we were at the Trattoria Al Forno, you could just see how tired some of the people were there because they had been up probably since like 5 or 6 a.m., either doing their presents with each other or just doing the parks all day. Like, literally, there was a family next to us, and there was like probably a 12-year-old boy, and he was just like passed out at the dinner table
with food in front of him.
Yeah, like he just was sitting back, his mouth was agape open, and I was like, I feel you, little dude.
Yeah,
like,
but I'm also glad I didn't feel like that.
No. Yeah, and so you can tell by the time we had dinner, a lot of the families were just done.
Yeah.
But for us, our Christmas Day kind of started later, like you mentioned earlier. We slept until like 10:30. We kind of took it slow in the morning.
Yeah, we really didn't leave the house till like 5:30.
No.
To go out to see the resorts and have dinner.
It was a very relaxing, chill, definitely what was needed Christmas Day. So I think this is probably going to end this conversation about our traditions around Christmas, what we did on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day this year. And we just hope that all of our listeners had a good Christmas holiday or whatever you celebrate. And thank you for listening to us.
Yeah, it's been a fun conversation, like reminiscing on all the childhood memories. I think we're going to have one more podcast in 2025, maybe kind of talking about New Year's and what to look forward to in the New Year's and
Some
whatnot.
resolutions and
Yeah.
goals.
So look forward to that. But all in all, thank you all for listening to this. If you want to let us know some of your favorite traditions, feel free to comment that. But in the meantime, if you aren't already, go ahead and follow us on our social media accounts, Facebook and Instagram. And we have all of our episodes on YouTube and Spotify available to listen to. But until next time,
dine boldly, dream freely, and remember, there's no one to tell us no. Happy holidays. Bye, guys.
bye.